Pra-pa-pa-pa, ching, 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 ching. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It is Thursday, the 27th of November. We have a lot in store for you today. Probably one of the most important things that you're thinking about is the $5,000 account courtesy of City Traders Imperium that we're going to be giving away. We're also going to have a look at some charts, and we have a day to breathe. Where markets are closed, we're going to have a look at some of the key assets that we like and looking at some of the levels going into the year end. Do we get a Santa Claus rally, or do we see Grinch and people getting cool for Christmas? You're not going to want to miss this show. Let's get over to the show now. All right, welcome one and all to our Thanksgiving special show. It's Thanksgiving over in the US, so that means that markets are closed, and we have a little bit of time just to go through some charts and have a look at some of the things that we don't normally have time to when we are seeing prices move on a actual trading day. So it's nice to kind of take some time also to think about what are we thankful for, how far we've come in this journey of trading, and maybe some of the lessons as well. Some of the things that we've learned over the last year, since last Thanksgiving, since January, as we prepare for the end of 2025, moving into 2026. So first and foremost, I'm going to just say a very special thank you to everybody who has joined us today. Looks like we have Enoch saying happy Thanksgiving. Hello, Mandela. So hello, Enoch. Thank you very, very, very much for joining us today for our Thanksgiving special show. All right, let's get over to the charts here. There we go. Okay, so we're just looking at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin's one of the few asset classes that are trading today on a bank holiday market closed Thanksgiving. So we were creeping up higher, sort of into the early morning session, I guess, London midday. And then all of a sudden we've kind of cooled off a little bit, moving down slightly over the last few minutes here. So pretty much peaking here at around 5 a.m. New York time, coming off a little bit. So we'll start off with Bitcoin and we'll go through and we'll do the full list of charts that we like. All the charts that we like to look at. This segment's called Chatting Charts. All right, so we'll zoom out first. And we're looking at this this downtrend that we've seen, and we've finally seen some signs of life jumping into Bitcoin here. And yeah, we haven't really been too optimistic on Bitcoin because it's the one that's performed the absolute worst, and that's not a good sign. So when you see something underperforming the S&P, underperforming the NASDAQ, it's kind of one to stay away from. I would warn anyone from trying to catch a falling knife. So we kind of hit the all-time high here, Monday, 6th of October. And then it kind of just started a avalanche, I guess, if you will. And we've been tracking this zone as almost like a resistance zone. So we hit that once, fell out of it, hit it again, fell out of it. We ticked inside of it, fell out of it. So I do think on the way up here, that could be a good sort of marker, a good line in the sand, as we like to call it. We're pulling back here. But I think the key here is, can we hold above this 80,000? If we can, then I do think that the story of the Santa Claus rally is coming back with a vengeance here. And as we know, most years, and I think we do have a chart that we can share. Most years we do get a nice favorable move higher into year end, partly due to portfolio rebalancing going into a new calendar year. Also, it could be due to taxes, so tax harvesting, favorable portfolio positioning in advance of the end of the year. So we tend to see this sort of march higher into the year end. I have to admit, I'll be the first to admit that I was very skeptical of the Santa Claus rally this year because we've come so far so fast over the last few months. Pretty much since April, it's been a steady march higher, crawling that wall of worry. Everybody was worried about tariffs, worried about China, worried about Trump, and anybody who was optimistic enough and willing to buy the dip was very, very, very well rewarded. So that's something that we are going to we're going to basically be keeping an eye on into the year end. So it's kind of like the yin and the yang. We got the Santa Claus rally and the Grinchmas coming in. So which one do we see? I think from what we've seen over the last few days, it looks like we're getting back into Grinchmas getting back into Santa Claus rally territory. This chart here is helpful. It shows us how the S&P tends to move. So this is kind of like a seasonality tool that I like to use. Let's see if this works. Okay. All right. So seasonality wise, we were here. This is slightly dated. So we've been able to gain a little bit more, but you can see, historically speaking, going back to kind of 2024, 2023, 2022, S&P tends to do well in November. And we'll have a look at the chart and figure out exactly where we are as of this November. But there's more green than not. The average going back to 2010 is just shy of 3% to the good. So this is something that we like to track. We do have next week as the last week of November. Sorry, that's not right. We have Friday. What am I talking about? So we'll have a look at the chart. But I think the overwhelming color here is not red. We only have, looks like 2 red November. So at the beginning of November, there were a lot of analysts calling for a nice start to the Santa Claus rally and everybody looking for prices to go higher off of the back of this seasonality that we like to watch. But having said that, we'll look at where we are for this November and then kind of just take a gauge of okay, where do we think we can go from here? So if we pull up this year and we make a little bit of a comparison and see where we are for the month. Here we go. And this is the one that we like to see. And what we'll do here is we'll make this non-dark theme. Okay, and then we're pretty much sitting right shy of the October close. So interestingly, we're pretty much like flat on the month. It's very, very likely Friday, tomorrow, we do get above this October close, so that is kind of where we would need to get to in order to finish the month in the green. We were down here last Friday, interestingly enough. So we've come quite a long ways. So that November seasonality looks like it's kicking in. I was a little skeptical when we were looking at these lows, thinking that there's a very low likelihood that we could get back up to the October close, but we've done it. And last week was just a great sign of some very, very strong, brave buying going into the end of the month. So we finished off the day yesterday, 68.12. This is on the S&P Cash Index, ticker symbol SPX, Sierra Papa X-ray. And we finished October at 68.40, which means that we're about less than 30 points from yesterday's close into what would be positive territory for the month. If we look here, we're currently 0.48% for the month of November. So that could change. Tomorrow is a market open day. We will see markets close at 1 p.m. New York time, so half day essentially. So that would also factor into our trading plan for tomorrow. Also tends to be very low liquidity because a lot of market participants are off for the Thanksgiving weekend. They just make a long weekend out of it. So that's S&P here. I do think tomorrow could be just enough, maybe just enough to close the month green. Anything's possible, but it literally just needs to go another 30 points on the S&P, and we'll be green for the month. And it may not be significant to most, but for those of you who are doing this full time and working in this industry for many years, the monthly performance is very important. So we like to track that. Okay, so we're going to take a very quick break. We have a very special message that we're going to get out to you, and we'll be right back after this message. And we're back. Just wanted to say a special shout out to City Traders Imperium once again, and everybody who is watching us on this Thanksgiving Day. So let's have a look at the members in the office today. We got a good group of very, very lovely people. So Enoch was one of the first in the office today. We also have Mark in the office as well. Queras, hello, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. You think after this US shutdown, we can expect better price action into the new year? That's a good question. Take a little sip of water for that one. So get a question here from Mark asking, do you think after this US shutdown, we can expect better price action into the new year? Yeah, I think so. I think it's definitely possible. We've already had, about 2 weeks. We've had at least 2 weeks, 2 solid weeks, if I'm not mistaken, where the government has reopened. So we've had the advantage of that. We've started to slowly see that government data that we weren't getting before from the BLS, the jobs data, CPI data that we were not getting has now finally started to come back out. So I do think between now and the end of the year, we could see some good price action. Tomorrow may be a little bit sticky as the final trading day of the year, and also because it's Black Friday, I think many shops are going to be closed in terms of trading shops. So you tend to see more unpredictable moves tomorrow, but going into next week, definitely I think price action should be very favorable and provide some opportunities for us. And the government shutdown helps also in the fact that we're now getting that data that we hadn't been getting. The data usually gives us very good clues as to what the Federal Reserve is going to do. And I do think the last week, a lot of the price action was based on the Federal Reserve at first having a 30% chance of cutting rates. And that has now increased to, for December, that has increased to more than 80%. And we can pull that up for everyone. Let's do that first. Here we go. So I think the government shutdown is one piece of the puzzle. When we reopened, we get the data, and based on the data, we'll find out more about what the Fed is going to do for the December meeting and for their meeting in the new year. So here we go. This is a chart that I think kind of just tells the story of what happened last week. So coming into beginning of October, right here, I think it was. Okay, so this is where it was 25. So we're looking at the 25 basis point decrease. It actually went below no change. So it was actually closer to 40. We're using Polymarket. So here we go. This was the chance of a 25 basis point decrease was 22% on November 20th. And then it flipped and it's now 84%. So this orange line is what the market wants to see. It's the fact that there will likely be a reduction in interest rates. So as this went higher, it went from 46, actually it went from the low here. So it went from 22% chance of a 25 basis point cut in December all the way up to 84%. As of right now, it's sitting at about 84%. So I think that's what's driving us here. I think a lot of the AI bubble stuff, in my opinion, tends to be a little bit more noisy, and there's a lot of opinions and a lot of narrative on the AI front. But I do think it seems like the more we watch the price react, we pretty much bottomed on the S&P on this news here, and then we would have gotten Fed speakers saying there is a likelihood of us cutting rates in December, and that's where we got to the 84%. So it's just something to be aware of. But great call out there from Mark. Thank you very much. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to post the link. I don't know why I'm having some difficulties with my throat. I'm going to post the link for the prize giveaway right now in the live chat. So if you've never watched our shows before, if you're unsure how to join or how to enter, we have a prize giveaway each and every show, and that goes to one lucky winner. And all you got to do is look in the live chat. In the live chat, you'll see a link. Click on the link, fill out the form, and then watch the draw. It's that simple. That's all it is. That's it, really. 3 steps, and you could be the lucky winner of a $5,000 funded account, courtesy of City Traders Imperium. Okay, so look out for the link. It's going to be coming in hot in the live chat. There we go. I took some time for this one because I wanted it to give some respect to Thanksgiving. All right, here we go. All right, so please enter prize giveaway here. There you go. So you should see the link for the prize giveaway. If you wouldn't mind, anyone, just let us know if that link is still, if it works for you, let us know. Oh, I see Jerry Soltis. Morning, Mandela, top trader. Nice to see you in the live chat, Jerry. Very, very nice to see you there. We actually had Jerry on the show not too long ago. Took us a while. We had to go through a lot of red tape to get Jerry on. But yeah, Jerry is one of the best options traders I know. Also specializes in swing trades, leaps, and he's also very knowledgeable about earnings, trading earnings, which is a unique beast, to say the least. So yeah, Jerry, nice to have you in the live chat today with us. All right, so yeah, just going back quickly to the prize giveaway. It took me a while to find something that was Thanksgiving enough. So in order to make sure that you are entered, click the link in the live chat, and then you're gonna remember the rules here. Only one entry per person. You can only win once every 30 days. And then you have to make sure that you post either on X or on your Insta, tagging City Traders Imperium. After you post, then you will be contacted by City Traders directly. So we can have a look. We'll have a look at some of the posts first in the live chat, and then we'll get over to what I think most of you are interested in before the prize giveaway. We'll have a look at some more levels and some of the things that we're looking for tomorrow's trading day, going into the end of the year. And like I said, I think it's very much so, do we get a Santa Claus rally or do we get Grinchmas? And the Grinchmas obviously would be where we move lower here on risk assets, so Bitcoin, NASDAQ, S&P, and your individual stocks. The Santa Claus rally is the inverse of that. So we'll pick that apart in a sec. But I do want to just say thank you very much for watching. I know some of you celebrate Thanksgiving, some of you do not, but that's okay. Whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, we're just giving thanks for all the many things that we do have. All right, so who else do we have here? I just happened to stumble across Jerry, who is one top trader, one very, very top trader. So Mark saying no trade day for me today. I see that. Who else do we have here? We also have Queres saying happy Thanksgiving. Euro US dollar from Khalifa. So Khalifa's requesting Euro US dollar. We can have a look at that in a little bit. And then we've got Ride 2. Ashraf. I think it's Ashraf, because last time I said Ashra and I was corrected. So Ashraf, welcome back. So we'll have a look at Euro US dollar for Khalifa. Kapoon saying hello, also present in the office. Got some cheers. Looks like people are enjoying their festive times. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. I'm seeing cheers glasses, champagnes, party bags. So Ride 2 saying Euro please, Euro US dollar please. So Ride 2 and Khalifa both want that. A big range month though. I mean, yeah, it depends on what style you trade. it's not always going to be easy where you're just getting paid every single month. There are some months that are very difficult to trade. And at the top of the show, we had a look at how S&P usually performs going into November. And what we can do on top of that is what we'll do now is just have a look at December as well, because I think it doesn't hurt having a little bit of a look at December and how does December usually look, because that's pretty much all we've got left for 2025. So this is by no means going to give us all the answers to how to trade in the next 30 days. I think it's about 23 trading days left in the year. 22 trading days left in the year. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's about 22 trading days left in the year. But we've looked back to last year. It was actually a down month for the broader market, down more than 2%. And then we've gotten 2023 was a green month. 2022 was a red month. So it's kind of alternating over the last 3 years. The average since 2010 has been a positive 0.75% for December. So that's interesting to note. Also, yearly returns as well, I guess, is worth mentioning. So we're up about 15% compared to up 26% in 2022 and up 24% in 2024. If we don't move anywhere from where we are now, if we finish where we are now, we'll be up just over 15%. This was actually printed, I believe it was printed last week. So worth mentioning that. So December here, looks like there's more green than red, but they tend to kind of balance out themselves here. We've had 5 red Decembers. So that, I think, is going to be the big question. And then also, do we end up finishing this November in the green or pretty much unchanged? We'll just have to see. All right, we're going to have a look at some levels. And then after the levels, we will do the prize giveaway, giving everybody a chance to enter. So one last reminder, if you would like to enter, this is your last chance. We will be giving away 1 free account to 1 lucky winner. Hit the link in the description, fill out the form, and then after the levels, we're doing the giveaway. All right. Everybody's been warned sufficiently. All right, so we got some requests here for what was it? S&P. 1 second. Okay, there we go. We got some requests here for Euro. Quite a few people were asking for Euro, dollar. Actually, interestingly, yesterday, pound moved pretty convincingly to the upside. There was some news about the budget in the UK, and we saw the pound react. So if we start off with the pound first, this would have been at the moment we got that UK budget news. Went down for, let's do a 1 hour chart. So it went down just to take out all the stop losses and then moved higher into the end of day. If we look at Euro, similar sort of price action here in Euro. I'm going to start off with a 3,000 foot view. Let's get to a monthly here. All right, so I guess the question is also, what is your time frame? So we got at least 2 people asking about Euro. So Rai2 and Khalifa both asked about Euro, and they asked very nicely, actually. They asked very nicely about doing Euro. So when I look at this, I mean, I will start off by saying, despite being a member of Signature FX, I have not been looking at FX or Forex for as much as I have recently as the S&P 500 and the US markets. So I look at, every day I look at the S&P 500. I do not look at the euro every day. But if we're going to draw some lines on the euro chart, we'll start off by looking at euro since 2008 here. So we hit the highs above 1.60, and it's been in somewhat of a downtrend since then. We go from here to about here, and so most recently we've kind of broken out of that downtrend that we saw from 2008. We've also broken out of this 2-year consolidation that we were tracking earlier in 2023. And I think the next sort of target, if we do see, this is going to be dependent on the US dollar. So if we see dollar weakness, I could see euro moving higher here. We've set out some Fibonacci levels. There we go. So I guess the first target would be the highs from September. Can we take out the highs from September? That's the first question. And then the next one is this key Fibonacci level, which is a 50% retracement. And if we go here, we're looking at the lows from 2000 to the highs of 2008. And then these are the Fibonacci levels, the targets on the upside. So the first one comes in at 1.21, and then the 38.2 comes in at 1.30. So that's my thinking on the upside. And then if we do see strength in the US dollar, so US dollar strengthening would be inversely impactful on the euro. So we would see something like this, maybe back to retest the trend line. That's kind of my thinking right now. Let's let that sink in. Oh wow, my mic's been off all that time. That is horrible. That is terrible. I just realized I'm on mute. Okay, Mandela doesn't look at the chat, it seems. Yeah. Okay, so my mic is back on. I do apologize. I did not see the chat. The CTI chat is on a separate page from the actual controls. I am a one-man show today. We have Andrew tomorrow, so Andrew will help to keep me off mute and also to keep an eye on the chat. So I have two separate windows. One window, this is hilarious. One window is the controls for the show. The other window is for the live chat. So I'm just seeing now that that was a while ago. So my apologies. I said a lot of things and I don't think you heard them, but in any event, the show's come to an end today. My lesson for today's show is always make sure the microphone is on. That's very important. And I do need to work on keeping an eye on the chat. That would have saved us a lot of time had I looked at the chat. The winner of the account was in fact Enoch. So congratulations, Enoch, for winning. And we're gonna leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow. I apologize for that technical difficulty. I knew that I turned the mute button on. I just forgot to turn the mute button off. So we'll be back tomorrow. I'll have my mic on, and I'll be checking the chat regularly. Also have Andrew. Andrew's a huge help, not just with the charts and with the market analysis, but also making sure we can hear each other, which is important. All right, so I'm going to go through. Let me make sure I'm still. Yeah, okay. So you can hear me now. That's good. I am sorry. I can't believe it. So Enoch, congratulations on winning. We'll start there. Well done on winning. And look, all I'll say is enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'm thankful to be able to be heard right now. Some people, they never go off mute. You never hear from them. But at the very least, 20 minutes later, I was very, very glad to read your many, many, many messages there, reminding me to please go off of mute. So thank you, everybody. From all of us here at City Traders Imperium, my name's Mandela. I'm here every Thursday and every Friday. I was asked today, am I going to actually do the show because it's Thanksgiving? Are you going to do the show? The market's closed. Are you going to do the show? I said, yes, I'm going to do the show. We have to do the show. And then come to find out, I was on mute for a good part of it. So all I'll say, and this is, I think, one of the most important things with trading and with life, is there are going to be surprises that come out of nowhere at all sorts of times. And I think the most important thing is when you experience a situation where you're on mute and you're pouring your heart out, your life, your soul out to people, and then you realize that you were on mute for all of that, take that lesson so that no other show that you do in the future will be on mute. That's it. That's it right there. Okay, everybody. I will bid you all adieu. Thank you very much for watching. We are very, very honored to have you all stay on through the thick and through the thin. We've enjoyed this Thanksgiving show, but thanks. You really make the show. And I just want to say a special shout out to everybody who has been watching with us today. From all of us here at City Traders Imperium, I am Mandela. Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear coming through your speakers or your headphones or your Bluetooth device, whatever it may be. And if you don't learn anything from me today, remember to turn off the mute button. Take care, everybody. Happy trading.